If your soul just shook thinking about the ripple this off-season drama could send through the whole NBA landscape, I want you to scream it out loud. Where will this saga land when the smoke clears? And how deep does the Warriors pull really? Reach? We're not just talking about some cold front rolling through Denver's front court. We're staring down an inferno that could end a dynasty or birth the next Golden State legend in the shape of Al Horford lacing up next to Steph and Draymond. Imagine this. The Nuggets, riding so high just months ago, now potentially gutted. Of the veteran backup bid they counted on to shield Jokic and fight in that paint, scrambling to piece back together a formula that nearly got them over the hump last playoffs. The very blueprint they proudly showed the league-trading star for depth. Signing savvy vets, balancing youth and grit now, threatens to blow up in their faces if Valanciunas walks away for greener European pastures and Horford's feet end up pounding Chase Center's hardwood instead of Ball Arena dot. And here's why that sends chills down my spine. Golden State might be quietly maneuvering the chessboard, while everyone else's attention is fixed on the flashy forward shuffle. Or Steph's millions. Because Horford's a Swiss Army knife for Curra General on defense, a mentor to Kuminga and Moody, a glue guy who doesn't hog headlines but commands respect every minute he's on the floor. He's the kind of silent engine that turns promise into championships without ever demanding the spotlight. If Horford lands in Golden State, we're not just adding a player, we're adding a seismic tremor to a team that knows how to convert grit into titles, a franchise with the veteran patience and culture to squeeze every drop of value from a contract. But what does that mean for Denver? It's a nightmare scenario, right? Their carefully crafted offseason, once celebrated as cunning and ambitious, is suddenly threadbare and exposed. The ripple effect hits locker rooms too. How do teammates rally when the veterans who stabilized last year's grind pull away? Every foul, every defensive scrum, every pick-and-roll exchange feels heavier when the trust in your frontline pillars wavers. Can Murray find comfort in continuity when the offseason tectonics reshuffle everything beneath him? Will Michael Porter Jr. still soar if the safety net beneath his rim-running vanish? The whispers aren't just personnel talk. They spike anxiety. That could bleed into preseason warm-ups, every fast break, every eye contact pass now shadowed by what-ifs. And don't think Kerr and his staff aren't watching this like hawks, calculating every hardened veteran's fit within the Warriors' blueprint, tweaking rotations and pushing the boundaries of cap space with the kind of patience only dynasties can afford. There's a war going on beneath the surface, and Warriors HQ might just be exploiting Denver's chaos to steal what might be the final ring piece for the ultimate splash era epilogue. But let's be honest, this isn't simply about roster moves. It's about legacy, pride, and the crushing pressure curling around Steph Curry like a living, breathing force. Steph, on the clock of his twilight years, staring down the barrel of history's judgment with every shot measured not in points, but in chapters added to his legend. What if Horford's presence in Golden State isn't just about flexing down low, but about giving this team the key to calm the storm in the finals? The veteran psyche that says, I've been here before. Fear is a choice. Meanwhile, Jokic, whose brilliance zigzags through screens like a ghost, faces the infuriating question of whether he'll have the same protective cast of secondary stars he's leaned on all season. Does this setback stoke the fire in Denver's front office, dialing up emergency trade talks at midnight? Could that desperation birth another blockbuster risk, or will it expose them as gamblers who bet too much on deals that didn't hold? And for us, standing on the precipice of a potential Warriors renaissance, this moment is electric. The same Warriors who battled injuries, doubts, and naysayers to forge a dynasty built on unshakable bonds are now in position to capitalize on a rival's unraveling. It's like watching a seasoned warrior spot the enemy's chink in the armor and quietly prepare for the kill, except this time, the prize is more than a game. It's the reclaiming of the West Coast throne, the final crowning of a franchise that has redefined modern basketball. So as the Nuggets scramble, stewing in uncertainty, as Valanciunas' European siren song grows louder and Horford's whispers. To the bay sounds sweeter by the day. All I see is a story unfolding with stakes so high they pulse like thunder in my chest. It's terrifying, because what if this is the moment the Nuggets unravel their own blueprint? What if everything they've built to summon a title fades, while we watch our Warriors sharpen their claws and get ready to pounce? As someone who's bled blue and gold through every spike and slump, every parade and pause, I can feel at the subtle shift under the azalea sky that this is more than just a season. This is a tectonic shift in the NBA's power structure. So, I want to know right now, what's your gut screaming? Are we witnessing the birth of Golden State's final, glorious climb, or the last glimpse of an era before the inevitable fade? Drop your rawest, no-holds-barred take below. Tell me if you think Horford seals the deal and sends us over the edge, or if Denver's chaos is only the beginning of something deeper. I'm locked in, receipts ready, heart wide open. Dub Nation, this is our moment, let's talk. Now, picture the cold snap off Lake Erie, turning into a blizzard of speculation on social media fans dissecting every cryptic quote from Polian's press conferences, dissecting Woj's tweets for hidden agendas, while the front office hierarchy in Denver pores over spreadsheets at 2 a.m. desperate to find leverage. Imagine Jokic pacing in empty practice facilities, replaying Horford's rookie mixtapes on a cracked phone screen as he dreams of defenders swarming him with the same ferocity that once defined his era. Visualize Curry, late at night, staring at a flickering television showing Jokic's MVP highlights, wondering if this season will be the one where the chase becomes the catch. And further, consider how this seismic realignment sends aftershocks. Through the entire Western Conference, the Suns recalibrating their backcourt rotation if they face a Warriors-Horford front. The Lakers nervously eyeing whether they can maintain their own veteran core, while Golden State hoovers up every undervalued veteran on the market. The Clippers strategizing how to exploit what might become the weakest link in Golden State's defense once Horford ages a season. Because every move they make now is a counterpunch in a high-stakes prize fight for playoff positioning. This swirling vortex of intrigue touches every franchise, turning what seemed a simple trade rumor into a multi-layered chess match where each piece can alter the board. All the while, the human drama simmers, assistants in Denver whispering about loyalty and legacy, veteran players questioning whether they'll suit up for a juggernaut or a rebuilding misfit, coaches nervously tweaking play calls to shield their stars from scrutiny. It's a perfect storm of uncertainty, where every practice becomes a pressure cooker and every pregame warm-up is laced with tension. The ghosts of past dynasties, Bill Russell's 5 rings, Magic Showtime Lakers, the Bulls' 6 championships hover over this moment, reminding us that dynasties rise not just on superstar brilliance, but on the subtle alchemy of depth, culture, and timing. So as rookies in Denver lace up their sneakers under the watchful glare of the big man who carries their hopes. And as Horford contemplates a return to the Bay under the soft glow of Oracle's lights, we stand at the crossroads of history. This is more than basketball. It's mythology in the making, the kind of saga that will be debated for decades in barbershops and sports bars, narrated in highlight reels and oral lore. Will Horford be the missing keystone that allows Golden State to script an encore for the ages? Or will Denver's front office unearth another piece of magic to keep their blueprint intact? Dub Nation, the narrative is unfolding in real time. Every tweet, every front-page report, every clandestine phone call is another line in an epic waiting to be written. So I plead with you, let loose your thoughts, unleash your theories, and let this forum be the forge where our collective passion transmutes rumor into revelation. Smash that. Like, if your heart races at the thought of Horford's return, subscribe if you're bracing for every twist and turn, and comment with your fiercest prediction. Because in this electrifying season of seismic shifts, we aren't just spectators. We're the chroniclers of a story that might redefine greatness itself. Dub Nation, are you ready for the next chapter? There's a storm brewing over the Rockies that could send shockwaves all the way to the Bay, an epic chess game unfolding behind the scenes where hope tangles with heartbreak. And the very backbone of Denver's roster trembles on the edge of collapse. Welcome back to Warriors News Fan Report, where raw truths collide with splash-era passion. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so your heart never misses a beat. The Denver Nuggets, fresh off a dazzling, ambitious offseason that has left much of the NBA buzzing, might soon find themselves staring down the barrel of a roster conundrum that threatens to unravel their championship blueprint. This summer, Denver orchestrated blockbuster moves right and left, snagging Cameron Johnson in a package for Michael Porter Jr., re-upping Bruce Brown's gritty versatility, and luring Tim Hardaway Jr. with the promise of a new chapter. But perhaps the most intriguing maneuver has been the trade sending Dario Saric packing to bring Jonas Valanciunas into the fold, a move that on paper seemed to shore up the backup center position and bolster the frontcourt depth behind Nikola Jokic. Yet lurking behind this trade is a looming tempest that could unravel all Denver's carefully laid groundwork. Whispers have surfaced that Valanciunas, burned by the pull of heritage and opportunity, is seriously considering a leap across the Atlantic to reignite his career with Greek powerhouse Panathinaikos. This isn't just a routine overseas rumor. It's a seismic shift that could see Valanciunas walk away from the final stretch of his NBA contract if he negotiates a buyout with Denver, throwing the Nuggets' backup center plans into chaos. Could the Nuggets navigate this labyrinth and convince Valanciunas to stay? That question hangs heavily over the franchise's summer operations. But as the dust swirls, a tantalizing alternative has emerged, a beacon that for a moment seemed like a dream, signing Boston Celtics stalwart Al Horford to thread the needle at that crucial reserve big man role. Horford, a veteran presence whose defensive IQ and toughness perfectly mesh with Denver's gritty, resilience-first ethos, has long been viewed as an ideal complement to Jokic. The Nuggets, with a full mid-level exception at their disposal, thanks to the potential clearing of Valanciunas' contract, would theoretically possess the financial firepower to outbid other suitors for Horford's services. But in a twist worthy of the most suspenseful thriller, veteran insider Mark Stein dropped a bombshell that sends an unsettling chill through Denver fandom. Despite the Nuggets' capacity to offer a more lucrative year-one salary, every sign points to Horford's next home being under the bright Bay Area lights of Golden State. Stein's reporting paints a picture where the Warriors, constrained by a mere $5.7 million taxpayer mid-level exception, somehow have a gravitational pull that the money can't deny, a magnetic connection pull taught by Golden State's legacy, culture, and championship allure. Yes, the very team that carried the Splash era's golden torch, with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green setting the NBA on fire for nearly a decade, appears poised to snatch Horford before Denver can even blink. Could it be Horford's desire to join a dynasty in motion, or the chance to mentor rising stars like Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody, that seals the deal? And what does this mean for Denver's power structure if Horford slides into the Warriors lineup as Jokic's ideal backup material slips from their grasp? The stakes couldn't be higher, because should Valanciunas actually exit to Europe and Horford become a Warrior, Denver's front office might be forced back into a frantic trade market scramble, hunting desperately for a rim-protecting pick-and-roll, barging backup for Jokic, a hunt that is rarely kind and seldom cheap, as the NBA's best playoff contenders circle like hawks. So here's the under-the-radar bomb no one saw coming. What if the Nuggets lose both Valanciunas and Horford, effectively being blown out of their depth chart plan before the season even starts? Suddenly, every offseason win looks vulnerable. Every trade becomes a gamble, and every Nuggets fan holds their breath, praying that the ripple effects won't tear asunder the momentum that propelled Denver to the fringes of glory just last year. The emotional stakes here are colossal. This isn't just about contracts and salary caps. It's about legacy, identity, and the next chapter of a franchise that has fought tooth and nail to emerge from the shadows of the West. The same West Where the Warriors once ruled supreme, crafting a dynasty from sheer will, splashy shooting, and unbreakable team bonds. Could the Nuggets' misfortune be the final piece of the puzzle that fuels Golden State's next chapter? The narrative twists and turns with every passing day, with the NBA moratorium on trades and signings about to lift and the calendar nudging closer to the unfolding drama's crescendo. As a lifelong Dub Nation believer, my pulse is racing just writing this. The tantalizing what-if scenarios stretch further than the three-point arc and deeper than the paint, exposing nerves raw with anticipation and tension. But is this the ignition point for our next title run or the crack that splits our legacy? Will Horford truly don the royal blue and gold, handing the Warriors yet another veteran chess piece that elevates them beyond the league? And what desperate, last-minute moves will Denver's front office conjure to fill a yawning void that could derail Jokic's championship dreams? Drop your unfiltered takes in the comments. I'll be right there, heart in hand.